Who's that boy? It's Jess. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I was... you know, getting ready for the stream. Not very ready. Not very ready at all. Get my shirt ready. Apologies for the ads. Such is the way. Such is the way of the internet these days. Such is the way. I don't know why it makes you all the same color on the chat box. Stupid. Alright. Lots of people are here already. Very cool. Awesome. 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 Wow. You gonna hang out with me, Murphy? Cool, man. I enjoy that. All right. How's everybody doing? How was everyone's weekend? Yeah, let's rap about that for a little while. Because I need to catch up to you all. Don't be shy. My weekend was pretty good. Fast. There was a lot. You can't slip that Hamilton reference past me. Well. What? You're gonna hang out with me? He wants me to play with him. Sorry, bud, I can't play with you right now. Right now. Alright, where was I? Alright. What did you... So, people are telling me how their weekends were, but, like, what did you do? What did you do? Oh, hey, Smitty Tom. Good to see you. How's summer treating you, Thomas? Peanut hated the river. Yeah, Murphy's not a fan of water either. Like, he doesn't go running into water. I don't know. He's afraid of a lot of things. Hey, Thomas, thanks for the sub, dude. You can never be in my class now. Alright. Did I get everyone? No, I didn't. Who am I missing? Lena and AJ. Well, I think that's everybody. Hey, cool. Last week, everyone. Last week of this class. Yeah, we just have 4 streams left. Just a reminder that there is one, so along with the discussion questions for today, tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, we have the reading checks for these 4 days, and if you haven't done them yet. And then on Friday, very important, Friday is the last day for the course. Friday is the last day of the course, right? So, on, like, the literal schedule. So, you've got a paper due that day. You're more than welcome to go to the assignments link, or tab, or whatever you want to call it, on Brightspace, and there's a Dropbox folder. I hope I did that already. No, there isn't. There will be a Dropbox folder today, so you can upload your paper early if it is done. Sorry about that. I thought I had done that before the course started, but it turns out it didn't. So I will get that up, and you can turn that in, and so it'll have a I think I set it for 11:59. So you have all day Friday to write that if you need to, if you've procrastinated. And then there'll be one last quiz that will look the same as you've seen it. And on Wednesday, I am going to share with you, so not today, not tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm going to share with you an extra credit assignment in case you need it. Okay? In case you need it. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that Wednesday. I will probably talk about it toward the end of the stream. Okay? So don't leave early. Alrighty. Let's talk about attraction today, yeah, shall we? Unless you have a question about administrative stuff, which is totally fine. Just totally fine. You can ask that in chat, and I will pause to answer that. If you have any administrative questions related to the class. Alright, so today we are going to talk about AJ. Oh, that's what happened. You got a little timeout there, AJ. Elena, so if we want to if we've got a low score on a chapter check, we will still be able to redo it. Are you talking about the reading checks? No. You have 2. Don't forget, you always have 2 attempts at those. And so if your low score is not good, then you can immediately, if your first attempt isn't good, then you can immediately take it again. But if you got a low score and you didn't do it again, and it's already locked, it's already locked. Okay? That's not going to be open for new stuff. Okay? New water bottle on my merch store for the podcast. Cool, man. All right. All right, AJ. Hopefully timed out, but you are welcome. Any other questions? Let me know. Let's talk about attraction and let me get this open because we're going to talk about beauty first, or that is physical attraction. Elena, the answer to that question is on the syllabus. 2 to 3 pages. Alrighty. The name of this artist is Harris Heller, and I'm curious. Hold on. Hold on. We're going to start out with a little bit of fun. Start out with a little bit of fun this morning. Alright. I'm going to pause this music. Okay. Alrighty. So that was a little choppy. Probably shouldn't have done full screen on that one. My bad. Tried to lower it down there. Alright. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on that? Satire. Satire. Great satire. I'll begin the discussion by saying I have zero makeup on. Don't I look great? Don't answer that. I have no makeup on. But if you went to other streamers, and they were women, you would probably see a whole bunch of makeup. Yeah, it is very much like Bo Burnham's pop song. I really enjoy that, by the way. Bo Burnham. But yeah, so there appears to be some form of double standard with makeup, right? At least beauty, right? Discuss. By the way, I just learned this the other day. This is smile in Auslan, which is Australian Sign Language. Not anymore, AJ. Not. Audrey, I don't know what you mean. Big Time Rush looks a little different here. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Elena, what do you mean by gotta love makeup? Is that sincere or sarcastic? Because there was one question in the discussion forums today. What does having physical attractiveness mean, or what is it defined as? Because I talked about that being one of the major things. Oh, it's a boy band. Gotcha. So, we're talking about beauty here. And you've got this satirical song over here, Okay. Screen there. Okay. Big Time Rush. You guys are hilarious. Okay. So makeup, it's there for making you look better, but if you're already beautiful, why do you need makeup, right? Yeah, that's a good question, Tasty Do. Why women are required to use makeup and not men. If you're in TV, though, you'll get makeup. You'll definitely make your skin not sweat. And that was really discovered, like, very appropriately by the debate between Richard Nixon and JFK, where Richard Nixon didn't want makeup, and so he was like sweating profusely, and JFK was like, "Yes, I'll take some makeup," and he came off looking super great, and you know, he won that election. He won the election in 1960. So, you know, there's that. What else? Rachel said the standard that beauty is within, but then the standard that we have to be perfect in all ways. Yeah, and that's clear in the song, right? Because it's like, girl, you don't need makeup, you're beautiful within, and then it's like, according to them, when she doesn't have any makeup, and they're like, wait a minute, we need to actually change the way that you look, right? Yeah. What else? Grayson said men can roll out of bed and be ready, and women, to live up to societal standards, have to spend an hour at least, or something like that. And then Elena, it's both sincere and sarcastic. Gotcha, but it's definitely a double standard. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it is a double standard for sure, eh? I will say, though, that I do have moisturizer on my face. And my hair doesn't naturally do this. So I will say that I can't just rock up out of bed. At least to be on television with you all today, right? Sophia, if you want to explain that a little bit more for the viewers that might be here, right? Because you make a good point. Like, what about makeup removes certain aspects of maybe unhealthy parts of your face, and then what are just accoutrements, you know? So I know there's makeup that I could put underneath my eyes to get rid of some of this dark circles, but yeah, I'm too lazy for that, so I don't, and so it looks like I have really dark circles under my eyes. Now for the rest of the stream, everyone's going to be focused on the dark circles underneath my eyes. But Sophia, your point goes to what I was saying, like, with television, how men on television do wear makeup, but it doesn't look like the additional stuff that then women put on, like lipstick or something like that, right? So, yeah. Can cover acne, even out skin tone, high eye bags. Ooh, yep. Define certain features. Yeah, for sure. And if you talk to like visual effects makeup artists, right? They have a full-on Academy Award for makeup. It's not just about making yourself appear to the standard of beauty that we've all grown up in our Western society. That's a great question, Tasty Dew. That's a great question, and I was gonna talk about that. So, lots of makeup, with what Sophia pointed out, and what others have pointed out, is that it makes the face look healthier. Okay, a lot of beauty ideals, a lot of beauty ideals, a lot of beauty facets, components do have an underlying health component to them. So when our genes are looking for propagation vectors, when we're looking to reproduce, we are looking for a mate that will be healthy, okay? And certain facial features, since we're specifically talking about makeup, certain facial features indicate potentially poor health. Okay. There are some things that are benign to your overall life longevity, right? Like acne, that's not really going to make you die earlier or unable to produce children or whatever. But there are things like eye bags, which do reflect either or a combination of both. Lack of water intake, so you're not as hydrated as you should be, and it's accumulation of lack of hydration, or poor sleep habits, because they get darker, heavier when you don't get enough sleep. So you can see here that I've not gotten a lot of sleep for years. So makeup hides that unhealthiness to make the person seem healthier, right? And thus more attractive. And Sophia, you mentioned something about making your face more symmetrical. Though humans do like symmetry, we find great love, I'll just say. We find great liking in symmetry and things that are symmetrical, as far as like grouping and perceiving visual objects. Faces aren't actually one of them. His faces are rarely symmetrical, and so studies have been done over and over and over on this, about symmetrical faces, and participants don't like symmetrical faces. Like, artificially symmetrical faces, because that doesn't reflect reality. Now, makeup can enhance symmetry of some features, like if you put, I don't know what it's called, but if you put the thing on your cheeks to contour them a little bit, one of you can put that in chat. But if you contour your cheeks, you can kind of make them more symmetrical. But a lot of people's faces just aren't symmetrical. There's a good example of, I can't think of the person now. I have a picture in my head, but I can't think of the name of somebody who's considered attractive, but they don't have a symmetrical face. Yeah. But in general, we don't like symmetrical faces because they look artificial. Because human bodies are just a hodgepodge of things, and so they don't get symmetrical. Right? So, any other thoughts about makeup before we move on? And to answer the question that somebody had, what does having physical attractiveness mean, or what is it defined as? The interesting thing is that the definition is up to the person, okay? We have societal standards of beauty, but here's the thing about societal standards of beauty. They change constantly. They constantly change. Even just I was, while I was prepping this last week, I stumbled across, I'm not going to show you because it was kind of boring, but changing beauty standards just within the 20th century, and so you had people like in the early part of the 20th century, what's her name? Well, I can't think of her name, but the picture would have been the woman herself would have been someone today who would be considered more overweight or plus size. So the modeling term goes, right? And then you have in the 1950s people that looked like Marilyn Monroe. That was the standard of beauty. Everybody wanted to be like Marilyn, right? And then supermodeling became a thing, and so that shifted what the standard of beauty was to what supermodeling agencies wanted. And so you had Tippi Hedren. And then who was the first quote unquote supermodel? I can't think of her name. And then you had people like Paulina Porizkova, Tyra Banks, and then like the 90s and early 2000s run of Victoria's Secret models. And then now you have the resurgence of, and yeah, Heidi Klum as well. And then you have like the resurgence of what is considered plus size these days. People like Ashley Graham and others who are saying like, you know, F all of that garbage from there. We're reshaping the beauty argument. So what is it defined as? Well, it's defined as whatever you want from an individual perspective, whatever you think you want. Now, whatever you think you want could come from societal standards, and most likely there's underpinnings of those societal standards in what you like. But then what is it defined as? The other part of that definition is what time period do you live in? And it's going to change no matter what, right? And so by the time you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s, the standards of beauty might be different, right? It might be different. Hopefully, less so on things like body shape and physical stature, things like that. You know, just are you healthy? Are you healthy? Doesn't matter how big or small you are, just are you healthy? Right? All right. Can you have physical attraction without sexual attraction? You wanna... I wanna... Care to give an example as part of your question before I answer? Because I would say it depends. There are certainly asexual individuals as a sexual orientation. People who don't really care for sex or what sex means. So, I mean, in that situation, yes. But part of physical attraction, or I should say, well, part of just attraction in general, and which is something that we don't have time to talk about in this class, just because we don't have enough we didn't have enough days for it. Is friendship. How do you create friends? Well, part of creating friends does come from places of attraction, and one of those markers, one of those variables in attraction, is physical attraction. Okay, you like the way the person looks, and so you approach them, and then you have fun being friends. I don't want to have sex with this person. I think that works. Right? Okay. drag this over here so I can get a link. Keep asking questions, though, y'all. This is good. We are gonna do a thing called the Similarities Project. Right now. All right, we're gonna do what's called the Similarity Project. This was something I found that was done with some third graders. A college professor took his group of college students to a class of third graders, and I want you all in chat to try to identify what things you have similar with each other. So this is going to take some communication among all of you in chat to determine what your similarities are. And these similarities are not to discount differences. We also want to celebrate differences. But this is obviously an exercise in the variable similarity for attraction. So in chat, identify what things you have the same. Don't worry. It's going to be really hard. And there are some things that you probably won't think of. Just fine. So, what do you all have common? Hey, thanks for the follow. Adrenizer. I think I got that right. And while you're doing that, Sophia asked, how does fashion affect attraction? That's a good question. I would say that it does a lot of the same things that makeup does. And again, standards do change over time. And so attraction, or I should say fashion, has a way of directing people's attention. Right? Directing people's attention. So the clothes show people where you want to where people want to look, to either highlight or ignore certain features of a person's body, right? One thing I do really like about men's suits is a buttoned jacket, because of the shape that is given to the waist. I really enjoy that. So, kind of, I like wearing suit jackets. I like buttoning them. And I like doing the thing with the pockets and the jacket backward. I can't really... You know what I mean. Alright. So we've got some college students. We've got some young adults in here. Okay. Everybody have siblings playing D&D. That's an interesting one. I don't think everyone has that has similarities though. And I'm intrigued about where y'all started with this. I'm intrigued actually. Rachel, yeah. At least the students in the class or in chat go to the same college for sure. Yes, you do. Getting tattoos of things that you love in your life. Yeah, that's amazing. I have tattoos on my list that I just haven't gotten around to get yet. That are things that I love in my life. Let me know if you all want to hear what that is. We've kind of paused on the similarities thing there, though. I keep caught here. We're all human. Yeah. Yeah. Start basic. Start basic. Follow Audrey's lead. Follow Audrey's lead on that. We're all human. Two arms, two legs. Maybe. As soon as we're ready, I will bring over the this post from the Everyday Sociology blog that they have this in. So the real cool thing about this is that these college students help these third graders draw little pictures about the similarities that they figured out as a group. It's really cool. It's really cool. I'm excited to show you. But we sort of stalled here. What else do we have in common? That's the word that I was trying to find earlier. What else do we have in common? What are our other similarities? They're very important similarities, by the way. And it just kind of goes to show that while we have similarities, you can kind of just use that variable to try to help you get to know someone, right? Kind of break down barriers. I think that's why I like this thing. And I wanted to show you all. But we've stalled. What happened? Chat. What happened? Chat. Think about your needs, maybe? Hint, hint. Hint, hint, hint. Hint, hint. Technical difficulties. It is hard, isn't it? It is hard. Alright. I'll put everyone out of their misery. Mom and Dad? I don't know. I don't know, man. Sometimes no. Alright. Let's increase the size of this just a wee bit so you can all see. So here are the first two. We all need food. We all have senses. We all need to breathe. Here's an interesting one. We all like to play games. We all have hearts. Aw, they don't look like that though. We all need air. Well, you said that right here. We all have brains. We all have intestines. We all have blood. I'm surprised you didn't all think about this. It's so simple, isn't it? It's so simple. So simple and so simplistic. We all have families. Whether they are biological or chosen. We all need water. Pretty important. We all get sad. Merrick, you should have, though. I would have been like... We all get sad. We all have bones, right? We all have bones. Ah. We were all born. But here's the interesting thing as this all goes through, right? If you think about it, it's not an exaggeration to say that all of the harm we humans have done to each other and even our planet comes from emphasizing our differences instead of our similarities. Consider the following. War. All wars have been fought over differences in religion, economic status, tribal affiliation, race, ethnicity, or territorial borders, which demarcate one of the above or some other difference, right? Systems of oppression, sexism, racism, heterosexism, ableism, classism. All forms of discrimination and oppression stem from identifying another group as other, as less equal, less worthy, less human. Environmental degradation. As we humans deplete natural resources such as air, water, soil, and as we destroy ecosystems, registering certain species of plants and animals extinct, we're doing that at a quite clip rate, right? We are doing so with the implicit assumption that we are separate from and different than any other living organism. The difference being from other humans whose lives are depend on these scarce natural resources. Whoa! That's some heavy stuff, man. That's some heavy stuff. The third graders did not think of all of that, though. That's the sociologist talking. Okay? That's the sociologist talking. Now, I do want to reiterate that we all, while we celebrate our similarities, we should also celebrate our differences. And I think the important part about that, to forget all this stuff, is to celebrate those things. Yeah? So this is sort of a harken back to last week as well. To celebrate those differences, yeah? But then also figure out what our similarities are. Alright, I have one more YouTube video that I want to share with you before we take a break. It is going back to, Stop it! Autoplays. Very annoying. Okay, so this is, I just saw it on my list, and I'm like, oh, damn it. I forgot to show this when we were talking about beauty. So going back to beauty for just a second, I did want to show this video. It's only a minute and a half long, so enjoy this video. There's only music and text on the screen, so I'm going to make this, I'm going to do theater mode here, So it's a little bit bigger, but to handle some of the stress on my system right now, I am going to just keep it like that. Don't put your picture on your resume. These are all things that I said in the lecture video. Lifetime pay gap. Woo! That's a lot of money. Remember, these are all just correlations. They do not, it's not causation. These are all correlations. So, don't be fooled into thinking that this happens every single time. All right. Some overlap from the lecture video that I shared with you, but then also some new stuff, right? Beautiful people, the beautiful people, the beautiful people. Banana. Sorry. Beautiful people, man. What do you think? Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on that or the Similarities Project? Taste to do, yeah. I think I agree with you there. 100%. We think. And going on the going off of the Similarities Project and trying to find similarities with others, I think we had some D&D, maybe some similarity among D&D. I don't think people were Joe saying so unfortunate in terms of how much less unattractive people might make. You want me to zoom in on the Similarities Project? AJ? Go. I mean, we're kind of done talking about these particular things. Joe, yeah. I hear you on the unfairness of it. Excuse me. But you got to remember that beauty is better or beauty is good heuristic is likely happening implicitly. So we're not aware of it. We just do it, right? And you see this when you when you test infants, even newborns, so babies in the first month of their lives, will look at beautiful people. So they'll stare at beautiful people, quote unquote, predetermined to be considered beautiful, right? Through, pre-rating, that sort of thing. They'll stare at those faces longer than less attractive faces. So attractive, unattractive, they'll stare at those faces longer. They haven't learned anything about that. They're only a month old, right? And yet they still do that. And we know that's we know that is that is a sign of liking, because babies and newborns, specifically, and infants, will stare at other things that they like longer than things they don't like, right? And so if you then compare that behavior with attractive faces versus unattractive faces, you end up with similar results, right? Audrey asked, how do they determine how attractive a child is? I've never seen a difference between attractive or unattractive kids. That's a good question. Generally speaking, it's done by pre-rating, like, how attractive do you think this is? And so you just get a number of ratings, and you sort of average out the scale. You say, here's a baby, what do you think of it? Okay. Cute. The word cute used to mean ugly but interesting, and so we call babies cute, or people used to call babies cute because they were kind of ugly. Some of them look like straight up aliens. I've known some babies who were like, are you human? Because this you look like an alien. You look like you came out of a sci-fi plot, right? But again, makeup and clothes will shape the way people view the baby, right? They will shape the way they view babies. And then, of course, babies, newborns, preemies, because preemies end up getting more attention in attractive preemies get more attention in the NICU. It's some of their behaviors will make them more attractive, right? That they coo or gurgle in some way that endears them to the nurses in the NICU, and then they'll also get, because of that, they'll get more treatment. They'll get more attention. Okay, than babies who are preemies, who are not engaging in those automatic behaviors. Not to say, I want to be clear by saying that these babies aren't doing these behaviors on purpose. They're premature, so they have zero control over anything. So yeah, Grayson, that's what I'm attempting to say, that attraction is part of our genetics. But you can modify that, because remember, from the beginning of the class, the person does not exist in a vacuum, and thus the environment and the situation can modify, right? Which is why we have the interaction of the environmental variables in the P, the O, and the P by O variables, right? So we went P, we went O, we went P by O, and then we talked about those E variables, and those E variables do change things quite a bit. So yes, we have a genetic predisposition to ascertain attractiveness. That attractiveness is likely has to do with various features that appear to be health-related, okay? And if you're an altricial human baby who needs sustenance, because you can't eat what everyone else is eating, because you need sustenance, the health of the mother is paramount. But even when we were, evolving, a newborn or an infant child who is breastfeeding would have probably breastfed from not only the mother but the aunts in the family, the if the sisters were of age, that sort of thing. So, if the family's healthy and the genes are related to health, and those genes are being selected for, that is, those people procreate and create new generations, then those genes will keep reproducing. Okay? And so that has a cannonball. That has a cannonball effect. Or snowball effect, not cannon. I'm saying cannonball for. Oh, man. And AJ said it's almost unethical. It's not really all that unethical if you're just showing people pictures of baby faces. Listen, if you dangle money in front of a parent and say, "Can we take a picture of your baby for $5?" the parent will be like, "Yeah, sure. F yeah, I love giving pictures of my baby to people, to strangers, for $5. Hell yeah. I don't get support from anywhere else. Might as well, right? Might as well." So, it's not unethical to rate babies as attractive or not. It's just because it's self-report. It's your own personal opinion about whether or not you like that baby, and then they're averaged, and then they're put into an experimental situation, and it's just their faces. You can't identify them at all. Babies change so much. Infants change their appearances so much. Yeah, you could probably spot some things in the eyes, maybe the nose, but not really. Like, if a stranger I just met showed me their baby picture, I'd be like, I don't know if that looks like you at all. So, there's not much unethicality associated with it. All right. So, we're going to come back. A break. We're going to do a 5-minute break. So, for those of you who are in Central Time, come back at 10:07. 10:07. I don't have a world clock for those of you who aren't there. Okay, so 10:07, 5-minute break. Alrighty. Ah! What's going on with my hair? Hmm. Alright. I don't know why this one's different than the other one. This one looked garbage. Alright. So, keeping on with the attraction theme. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to figure that out later. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is approach a question that I was given on the forums here. Can we be attracted to a person if they have a good personality over looks? That's a good question, but I want to start with this question by asking you all in chat to identify in order, rank in order, one to five, so five things that you find attractive. So what are your five ranked in order? You can just list them out. Things that you find attractive about a person, right? Things that you look for in that person. And drop those in chat while I try to figure out why my... So drop those in chat for me. Probably because of the white background. Probably it. Bammer, dude. So in chat, you're identifying to me what your top 5 in order.
Are you ready?
Destiny saying honesty, loyalty, trustworthy. Not bad. Honesty, loyalty, trustworthy, responsibility, capability, trustworthiness, open-mindedness, dependability, loyalty, honesty. So there's no physical attraction in either of your lists. Which is fine. Don't get me wrong. You're okay for doing that. Rachel, having future goals. That's number 1? Interesting number 1. Wanting to live a better life than what they grew up with. Honesty, trustworthiness, and confidence.
Are you ready?
Grayson, attractive, similar personality, views, empathy, intelligence, desire to grow. Merrick, free with their laugh and smile, gentle demeanor, kind, enrichment seeking, and ready to punch Nazis. Oh, I meant like the joke. I don't understand what you mean. I don't understand what you mean, man.
Are you ready?
Joe, work ethic, determination, loyalty, smile, eyes. Moving. The better, actually. Better. Good. Guys. Woo! Be a trustworthy, loyal, organized, responsible, nice teeth. Slim build. Okay? Personality traits are much more important. Physical characteristics can be overlooked, but lying, cheating, or being irresponsible cannot. Woo! Girl, I hear ya. Now, has everybody put their things in yet? Because this is very important, everyone. This is very important. I don't care what you think. It's very important. Because I'm going to I'm going somewhere with this is what I'm trying to say. I'm going somewhere with this. So Audrey adds, someone could be objectively attractive, but if they aren't a good person, I stop seeing the attractive things about them. AJ's adding, loyal, work ethic, attractive, physical look. You're missing 2. Add 2 more. I hear what you're saying, though, Audrey. I hear what you're saying, right? So, yeah, they were attractive, But now I need to get past that, just like looking, that visual cue. I need to go further, and I need to investigate it a little bit more. And if my investigation leads me to believe that they are a sucky person, then I don't care if they're beautiful. Examples of that. We'll take celebrities for 500, Alex. So examples of people that, you know, look good but maybe aren't the best people. Go. Anybody that you just hate so much because they are awful. Mel Gibson. Grayson, I like that. Explain that one a little bit more. I really enjoy it. It's such a good example, though. Such a good example. Lethal Weapon, fresh in my mind. I like that. He was considered attractive. He was considered attractive for sure. did say racist comments, that's for sure. Yeah. Anybody have anything else? I feel like you all dropped off. Just name it. You gotta say in chat who you find as an attractive person, but not they're not the greatest. They're not the greatest. Drop in chat who you think that is. So we got Grayson with Mel Gibson, which is a good one, right? Who else has an example? Who else has an example? Merrick, I don't understand finding people attractive. I never really have. Okay, that's fair. That is totally fair. All right. Since I'm not really getting much of a response even after delay, I'm going to... Oop, there's one here. I recently saw that Danny Masterson is canceled. Yeah, definitely some sexual misconduct stuff, for sure. For sure. And so I think he was... Was he on a show and now he's been fired from that show? Was that The Ranch? Is that The Ranch? I feel like that was The Ranch. But if you're not familiar with who Danny Masterson is, he was charged. Okay. But if you're not familiar with who Danny Masterson is, he was Hyde on That 70s Show. And if you're not familiar with Hyde, well, who even are you? Excuse me. Apologies. Bad burp. Alright. So the next thing I want you to do is I want you to identify. So you had the five things, right? I identified the 5 things. Now I want you to identify the 5 things that you would look for in a person that you are attracted to, so whatever sex or gender that is. If you were stuck on a deserted island for 1 week. 1 week. Okay, so 1 week, you're stuck with the person that the gender or sex that you are attracted to. Okay, it's part of your orientation. What 5 things, and then of course prioritize them. 1 week. Drop them in chat. So you're deserted with somebody that you find attractive, regardless of whatever their standard of beauty is. You are hanging out with them for 1 week on a deserted island, just you two. What 5 things are you looking for in that person? What 5 things are you looking for in that person? So you are stuck on a desert island for 1 week with the person you find attractive. You are identifying 5 things about this person that you want for 1 week. So with the sex or gender that you find attractive, according to your own sexual orientation, 5 things that you want in that person, and list them out. According to priority. All right, so number 1 to 5. Is this like Naked and Afraid? Let's say it's like Naked and Afraid. I don't know, somewhere between having resources, like the resources aren't just immediately available, I think is what, right? So you're gonna have to, you know, do Castaway, sort of Chuck Nolan kind of stuff, right? Alright, so we got some entries coming in. I like it. Alright, so Merrick is going with Selfless, Street Smart, Survivalist for 1 week. Okay. Probably athletic, medical background, just in case you get hurt, right, in that 1 week. Joe's going for kindness, understanding, being in shape, intelligence, probably humor since we're deserted for entertainment. Yeah. Bears can kill you in a week. I don't know which bears live on deserted islands. Just saying. Boars, on the other hand, maybe. Wild boar. Audrey, intelligence, resourcefulness, strength, similar personality to me, selflessness. Okay. Sophia's going with loyal, trustworthy, intelligent, careful, strong. Loyal to what? You're only there for a week, Sophia. I'm curious about that one because it's number 1. Okay. Why did you choose loyalty for 1 week? So they don't kill you, maybe? That's one thing I can think of. Rachel, dependability, communication, intelligence, strength, and respectfulness. Okay. I like that one. Dependability, I like is number 1. I like dependability is number 1. Merrick, deserted island bears. Find me one. Aaliyah, smart, athletic, I would imagine communicative, endurance, and mental strength. So you don't crack within 1 week. She's like, I can't handle the pressure. Resourcefulness for Grayson, sense of humor, intelligence, empathy, athleticism. Okay, Sophia adding loyalty. Preferably, they don't desert me and instead continue to protect me if needed. Oh, okay. Their survival depends on you as well, I'd imagine. Right? Don't count yourself short any of that, in any of those traits, y'all. Okay, I think I got most people in there. Now we're gonna shift this. So same question. Which 5 traits in the of the person that you are attracted to, but you were stuck on that island for 10 years. 10 years, which traits would you want? Again, prioritize them 1 through 5 when you list them in chat. AJ dropping in with loyalty, goal-oriented, intelligent, mentally and physically strong, and compassion. Okay. Now you're stuck on that island with them for 10 years. Which traits? Again, prioritize them. Which traits? Merrick says, theirs don't change. Okay. So I'm scrolling back up here. Selfless, street smart, survivalist, athletic, medical background. All right. I hope you can reciprocate. Audrey, don't think my list would change, so let me go back here. Intelligence, resourcefulness, strength, similar personality to me, selflessness. Okay. Okay. Yep. Ah, but Sophia, you have to remove one if you're going to add responsible. To remove one, where would it go in the list? Part of the rule. You only get 5 traits. Maybe do some rejiggering stuff around. Rachel with a new list. Dependable, goal-oriented, intelligent, sense of humor, communication. Okay. That's fair. Humor, communication. Right? You don't want to be bored for 10 years. Anyone else's list coming up here? Responsibility takes out trustworthy. Hopefully, if someone is staying responsible, they're doing the truth. Alright, I'm gonna play act this one. Hi, Sophia. So I did my chores for the day. So, good night! You won't ever find my secret stash. Extra bananas. So, I suppose you can be responsible, but not necessarily trustworthy. Grayson says same list. Let me go back up. Resourcefulness, sense of humor, intelligence, empathy, and athleticism. Okay. Dig it. Joe's, yours would be the same too. Let me back up. Kindness, understanding, in shape, intelligence. Okay. You still want a kind person. Okay. See that. I think this group is a little too small to actually get the demonstration that I'm trying to get, but generally speaking, what you see is a shift from first priority for 1 week to what the first priority is for 10 years. A lot of the times you see a shift. In some of my colleagues' use of this exercise, as well as my previous use of this exercise, I tend to use it when we're talking about similarities. So students that have been in my 101 class or might be in my 101 class, you'll probably see this again. But in any case, or you've seen it already, but in any case, what I generally see is something along these lines. This is a generalization, so don't get too caught up in the actual features of the generalization. This is just a general observation that I've had in previous go-arounds with this. So men in class tend to, when this is all secret and stuff, until I start asking for, like, what's your first priority or what's your second priority? And when people volunteer, the men generally say they want the person for 1 week to be physically attractive. Okay. And the brave men in the group, brave in air quotes, foolish, if you think so, will share with the class that being on a deserted island for 1 week is, generally speaking, only good for things like having sex. Okay. Women, on the other hand, will tend to, for the 1 week, will tend to highlight things like humor and resourcefulness and strength. Okay. For 10 years, you'll see a shift among men where the first priority becomes things like kindness and humor. And women in 10 years will tend to highlight those things as well, even though they did for 1 week. They'll tend to keep those lists in, generally speaking, the same order. And it's quite a stark difference, but you need a big group, and I don't think the size of our class and the people that are participating really reflect that, obviously. So, that's generally speaking the patterns that I see, patterns that others see, but this could also be shifting. This could also be shifting as far as your generation and people who are a little bit older than you versus people who might be a little younger than you, and as they go through, right? Because I get students at the same age, right? I get older, but my students essentially stay the same age, the same range from 18 to 23, so to speak, right? And so I get to see snapshots of cohorts answer these kinds of questions. And it's really revealing where the general thrust of a given group, a given cohort, thinks about potential partners. It's nice. Nice. I really like doing that. One person asked, can money be a key contributor to attraction? And the answer is yes. Right? The answer is yes. Kanye's song, Gold Digger. That. There was a show on like True TV called Gold Diggers or something like that. And of course, that is a negative stereotype, primarily directed at women, right? Women are gold diggers because men, generally speaking, have the wealth, and it can certainly be both a similarity feature right? And because then I compared similarity to complementarity in the lecture, and so it can also be a feature of complementarity, which is to another person's which speaks to another person's question: does attraction occur between people with similarities or with opposites? And I said opposites attract tends to be a myth among aggregates. We don't, generally speaking, feel attracted to people who are opposite. But money can play a role in that complementarity if the person seeking the money or seeking the resources has something to offer the person with the resources and complements that. And so my example for that is a guy like Hugh Hefner was a guy like, because he's dead now, a guy like Hugh Hefner, and his whatever he is or was, I know about his personal persona, but I don't know what he was like private, right? And then what he was looking for in women, so on and so forth, right? So that's generally where complementarity and money as a defining feature of that complementarity comes into play, right? And there's gonna be this opposites attract kind of thing a lot, but it is rarer than the other phrase that you might be the other cliche that you've heard of, which is birds of a feather flock together, right? And then that's really showing similarity. So you are likely to be attracted to somebody not necessarily just by their looks, as we talked about in the first hour, but also for other reasons, like you have identified in these couple of exercises what you find attractive in a person in general, and then if you're stuck with this person for 1 week or for 10 years, just isolated amongst yourselves. So there are a lot of things that are integrated in that, and let's not forget these environmental variables that pretty much keep you from having a huge infinite number, I'll say, an infinite number of people that you are attracted to. Our worlds and our environments necessarily keep us going. Now, I am curious about, because I'm married, so I don't really talk about marriage a little bit more tomorrow, but I obviously don't date. So I'm curious for those of you who are dating and or with a significant other. So I have kind of two questions. To hit both of them. One, generally speaking, my first question is for those of you with SOs, with significant others, where did you meet that significant other? So where and how did you meet that significant other? And then my second question essentially is for people who are single but open for relationships. Where and how are you looking for a partner, / significant other? And it doesn't have to necessarily be an active search for the second question. It doesn't have to be an active search. I'm just curious about, okay, if I'm thinking about it, where would I look? How would I look? And look here is being obviously used in broad sense. Okay. Okay, Merrick says, met her on an online fad chat forum. Ooh, what kind of fans? Rachel is laughing that she is using a dating app. Or, wait, I need a little bit more context, Rachel. Because remember, I asked for 2 questions, and if you don't give me context, if you have a significant other or not, I need to know which question you're asking or answering. Otherwise, I'm going to be confused. Rachel said, so I'm assuming that you met your current significant other on a dating app. If you don't mind saying which dating app, I am definitely curious about that. But don't feel obligated to answer that. Sophia moved to a new school, so I'm assuming that since that's in the past tense, you have a significant other, and you met that person at this school. Okay. That's what I thought, Rachel. That's what I thought. Elena says single and social media in real life in a social function is how you plan. Okay. All right, Rachel. It's fair. Tinder. No judgment. And Merrick, I did catch that you said anime. Very cool. Just like broad speaking anime fan, or just or specific anime? I'm curious about that because I will tell you how I met my wife. As more come in. I'm very curious. Okay, so we have online. We have another online. Although Rachel, I am curious. Where this significant other was on Tinder, like proximity, or long distance, or something in between. Specifically Hetalia. I don't know what that is. If it's you can explain it, or you are more than welcome to explain that or not. So Joe says, met girlfriend over Xbox, played together and started talking. Okay, and then same kind of question to Rachel, which was, where was this person to begin with? Were they close, right? So the reason why I'm asking is because I talked about proximity in the lecture video. Hour and a half away from where you live. Hour and a half away. That's not bad. It's a trek, right? But it's not bad. Okay. Audrey says. I'm single, but it's a mix of who I meet through friends and dating apps. Okay. Audrey, if you care to share what kind of dating apps, again, no pressure to share. Merrick said it's a garbage anime. Okay. Oh, good times. 2 hours away for Joe and different schools. Okay. So she currently goes to a different school. Okay. Bumble. I've heard a little bit about Bumble. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, in the waning moments of this stream, this is sort of a launcher into tomorrow's chat, which is on close relationships and love. Okay. So I'll tell you how I met my significant other. Cool. I like that, Rachel. Trip is never bad. Well, because you get to go see the other person, right? The anticipation of that is amazing. All right. So, much like Merrick said, I met my wife, partner, on a fan forum. So, in the early days of the internet, in the, late childhood of the internet, it's in its adolescence now, and yeah, I like to think the internet's in its adolescence now. But anyways, in the early days of the internet, in 2003, these movies came out. You might be familiar with them, called the Matrix movies. Although the first Matrix did come out in 1999. But then the sequels came out in 2003. One, and I think in May, and then the other one in November or something like that. Really weird the way that they decided to do both sequels. I freaking loved those movies. I freaking loved them. Looking back on them now, I'm just like, yeah, they're all right. But I loved them then. So I joined this forum in high school with the intent to be a little bit of a troll, and I'm so glad I actually didn't do that. I was going to be a grammar troll, and it was not going to be good. Anyways, I'm glad I didn't do that, and I actually participated in discussions, about the themes and all of the little tidbits and Easter eggs and things like that. My wife, Astrid, was a member of that forum, too. She had actually joined a shoot-off Matrix forum from this main website, where people were unhappy with the administration of that website, and so they went and made their own. And so she was a member of that one, but then came back to the original one. Yeah, no, it's weird. Politics are weird, yo. And if I think I've said this before, but she's Australian, and so she was in Victoria, Australia. This is the southeast state of Australia. And we just kind of hit it off there, and we joined, if you remember, this was a thing. You were kind of young at the time, but MSN Messenger. And so we would IM each other every once in a while. And in 2005, I'm like, I want to go on a overseas trip, but I don't know any other languages, so I need to go to an English-speaking country. So I decided to go to Australia because that's where she was. That's where another couple of other mutual friends, and I was in college. I just 2005. I just finished my freshman year. And so it was in summer, I was working a lot, and I just decided to take a 2-week vacation to Australia. And so I met her there, and we were just talking about it last night, how when we first saw each other, it was like, woo! Explosion of feelings. And it wasn't very long after we were talking, while I was in Australia, we were talking, we were flirting and all of that stuff. And then I got home, I came back to, at this point I was living in California. We had to talk with calling cards to make the long distance calls more affordable. Oh my god, I remember getting my cell bill one month and it was like $400, and I'm like, did not have that kind of money. Thank you. So we were talking for a few weeks after I got home, and actually July 21st, 2005 was when we decided to try to make a long-distance relationship work. So we have been together now for 15 years as of last week. Last Tuesday. We've been together for 15 years. She came out in 2000. So I went back in early 2006, and I celebrated her birthday with her for 2 weeks. Is all I could get off from work, and then she came out, and she was going to go to university there, but she decided to forego that, come out to California for 3 months, which is the longest that you can stay in the United States from certain countries without a visa. So Australia is one of those countries you can stay for 90 days without a visa. And we lived together. And she's like, I need to find a way to come back. And so she came back on a student visa. And she went to school here for 2.5 years. Lived together. And then I asked her to marry me in 2009. We got married in 2010. We had to do a long distance in the interim on that one because you can only get a fiancé visa if you are out of the country. So She had to go back to Australia for 7 months. Then we got married, and the rest is history. And here we are 10 years later. Got married 5 years into our relationship. Been married for 10 years. And then we have the American nuclear family. 1 girl, 1 boy, dog. Look at that. So yeah, that's so proximity. The reason why I bring that up is because proximity is usually, and this is usually the case, proximity is generally speaking in your backyard, right? Most people get together, and especially in small communities, most people get together with somebody in their small community, and most people don't leave their small communities for their entire lives. The internet changed that. The internet changed that completely, and it changed things for me too. Somebody that is, a 13-plus hour plane ride away is here with me, and now, since video chatting is so much easier than it was back in the day, it makes proximity even less of an issue. Exactly, Sophia. Exactly. I do agree. Yeah, any other questions that anybody has? I hope you enjoyed my story. And so tomorrow, just to give a heads up, tomorrow we'll be talking more about close relationships and love and things like that. So thanks for the follow, M4Hen. Mayhem. Oh, I should probably do that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave the stream there for you all. So if you have any questions, remember, just so as this final week goes into the books, I am available by Zoom. You all have the link. It was the start of the term. So if you do need to chat with me, please come see me in Zoom. I'm available till noon Central Time. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. Audrey, extra credit on Wednesday. All right. Have a good day, y'all.